Fitness is massively overcomplicated these days. We see so much content online about the best routines to be doing, the best exercises to be doing, and it can feel like you almost need a degree in exercise science to make any progress whatsoever. But today I'm going to share with you why that's not the case and how exercise can actually just be really, really simple, and doing the basics gets you 99.9% of the results. For a long time, I sort of fell into this trap of researching and analysing absolutely everything I was doing when it came to exercise. I would spend hours trying to construct the perfect routine. I would spend so much time, watching YouTube videos on the best workout splits or the best exercises to do for a certain muscle. And I've just ended up feeling like I had such an overwhelm of information that I didn't end up doing anything at all. And if you're starting your fitness journey, perhaps as it's the start of the new year, or you've made a New Year's resolution to get into shape or to get back into shape, I feel like just that overwhelm of content can be a real not a stepping stone, that's not the word I was looking for. A real stumbling block, that's what I was looking for. Because you're determined to make some changes, but then you just get kind of overwhelmed with the sheer volume of stuff you think you need to know. And to me, it doesn't need to be that difficult at all. There are three core pillars that I stick to that have built me a really great physique, and it doesn't really take too much time out of my week anymore either. I probably spend less than an hour in the gym. I get out for a walk 4 to 5 times a week, and I do a bit of stretching before bed. And you know what? I feel the best I've ever felt. So if you want to get to a point where you feel really, really good in yourself, you've got a good physique, you feel like you have the ability to do all of the things that you want to do in life, and you're not crippled by the sheer amount that you have to do, then this video is for you. So the first pillar of my exercise and my fitness regime is some form of resistance training. Now, resistance training is really, really good for you, and it can help you to build muscle mass and retain muscle mass. So for many of us, it's something that's going to help with our long-term health. Studies have shown that as you get older, those people who continue to do some form of resistance training, they retain their muscle mass much later into life, and it stops them from having as many falls or as many accidents into old age. And generally, they have a much better quality of life as well. And to me, that's what fitness is all about these days. It's about having quality of life right the way through. When I was younger, I used to go to the gym because I wanted to have a really good body that would get me girls and all of that kind of stuff and stroke my ego. But the older I've got, the more ridiculous I've realised that pursuit was. And actually that being healthy and well for my family and for my life in general is really the best goal to have with fitness. And so doing something that's going to help you retain, perhaps even build some muscle mass, is a really, really good thing to do. Now, it could be a simple routine. I tend to just stick to the basic exercises in the gym. I'll do a couple of sort of what are called compound lifts, things like squats and deadlifts, bench press, dips, pull-ups, exercises that use multiple muscle groups at once, because they're simple, they're really efficient, they work your whole body a lot of the time, and I can get a really good workout in a short period of time. I train really hard. I go to failure on, I will work up my weights. So say, for example, with squats, I'll perhaps do a warm-up set with just the barbell on my back. I'll then put on a couple of plates up to sort of 60 kilos. and do some squats with that, jump up to 100, and then maybe my working set is 120 to 140 kilos, and I'll just go for as many reps as I can get. And that's me done. That's me done on squats, and then I will move on to my next exercise. And normally I will keep my workouts to about 3 to 4 exercises at a time as well. So I can get in and out of the gym in under half an hour. I've worked my whole body. I've got a nice pump, and yeah, I only need to do that 2 to 3 times a week, and I'm still making progress. I'm still increasing the amount I'm lifting each time. I'm still, if I'm in a calorie surplus, still putting on muscle. And I found that to be just a really sustainable and consistent way of training. It may not be the most optimized, but it really does work, and it's simple, it's straightforward, and you don't need to be a doctor of exercise science to get it to work for you. You can also, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be barbells and dumbbell training if you don't really like that kind of thing. You could try kettlebells or even calisthenics, which is just body weight stuff, and I tend to do quite a bit of that as well. Push-ups, pull-ups, dips, all of that good stuff is going to just help you to, as I say, retain that muscle mass and to keep your muscles working. Next is to have some form of cardiovascular exercise in your week. As I've said, I like to go for a walk 4 to 5 times a week, and there's a good hill nearby for me, which gets my heart rate up as I walk up it, and just generally helps to keep your blood flowing and improve your circulation. But it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be running marathons or anything like that. That's not what we're after. We're just looking for something that gets your heart rate up for a prolonged period of time, half an hour to an hour or so. So it might be swimming, if that's your thing, could be rowing, could be running, going for a walk, cycling, anything like that is a great thing to do. And if you can build up to perhaps doing around 2 hours of that a week, then you're going to be in a really, really good place. It's going to help your heart, it's going to help your lungs. And these are things that we know are going to improve your longevity as well. So we've got some resistance training. We've got some cardiovascular fitness as well. And to combined, you probably don't really need to be spending more than half an hour a day, I would say, on any of those sort of 2 things combined to actually get some really good results. It's very achievable, it's very doable, and it's very easy to stick to as well, because we're not making it this like, I don't have to be in the gym 6 times a week for 2 hours at a time. No one's got time for that unless, you're a student or a full-time bodybuilder. No, you don't need that for life. You just need something that's going to give you a really good, strong foundation to live your life from. And so finally, the last kind of piece of the puzzle, which I was missing for a lot of years, is to have some form of flexibility training in your life as well. Whether that's just doing some stretches before bed, that's generally how I tend to approach things. 5 minutes of doing some upward and downward dog, maybe some forward folding, seated pancake, things that are just going to stretch out your whole body and keep you mobile and flexible. To me, there's no point having our heart and lungs working really well, having lots of muscle mass, but then not being able to bend down very easily because our back's so tight and our hamstrings are jammed up from sitting down all day. To me, it's one of the pieces that's helped to make me feel the best actually day to day, because most of us spend a lot of our life sitting down, whether that's at a desk or driving or sitting in front of the TV in the evenings. And so keeping ourselves mobile and being able to kind of keep that range of motion as well, that allows us to do just do life better, I guess. That to me has been a real game changer. And again, you don't need to overcomplicate it. Spend half an hour to an hour a week doing a yoga session. There are some great teachers on YouTube for yoga sessions. I tend to watch Breathe and Flow. I found their videos to be just great follow along yoga sessions that you can do at home. without any equipment. You don't even need a yoga mat. I don't own a yoga mat. I just tend to do them on the carpet or on a rug, and it's fine. It's yeah, you can crack on with that. Or maybe Pilates or something like that will be a really good way just to keep yourself flexible and to stop yourself getting all jammed up, undo some of that damage that's done by sitting down too long. And so, all packaged up and put together, those three sort of pillars of exercise that I do, again, it probably doesn't take me more than half an hour to 45 minutes a day, if that, to do all of those things. Probably an average of half an hour a day. And that small investment in your health every day is going to make absolutely huge amounts of difference to your life. It's going to transform. If you're in a position where you're doing absolutely nothing at the moment, and you can get into a habit of consistently doing, even if it's 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, consistently doing some form of one of those three activities, you are going to notice so much change, so much improvement, and your life really will transform through doing those. You're going to feel healthier, you're going to have more energy, you're going to feel more confident, you're going to feel more healthy as well. And yeah, it's gonna make the change you're looking for. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Keep to the basics, keep it simple, and you'll make far more progress than if you try to overcomplicate things and just go on this like really science and optimized routine biohacking straight away. You don't need that when you start out. You need the basics. And even when you're fairly far into the journey like I am, you still just really need the basics. You might tweak a few things here and there, but the basics work, and it's consistency that's going to get you the results, not complexity. Always think that the things you can stick to, the things you can be consistent at, are going to get you far more results than doing something really complex and detailed but not sticking to it. So you can be as optimized as you like, but if you're not going to go and do the work, then it's pointless. So don't get stuck in that trap. If you want a bit more guidance and help with that kind of thing, there's a link in the description to a blueprint that I've made, and that will discuss some of those health and fitness things that I do and how you can implement them into your life. And there's a few other areas that I like to focus on as well, because to me, health is a really holistic approach. You know, we need to be looking after our physical health, yes, but also our mental health, our spiritual health, our emotional health, and they all intertwine, and they all bounce off each other. And if one's lacking, you're going to struggle with the others. So it's a very comprehensive blueprint, and it's very simple as well. So if you need some form of guidance to help you get started on this journey, as I say, the link's in the description. It's completely free. And if you also want to ask me some questions and kind of get some feedback on what you're doing, there's also a link to a community in the description as well, which I'm active in. And yeah, any questions, just drop them in there, and I'll try my best to help you. So that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please do hit the subscribe button. And yeah, until next time, I'll catch you then. God bless.